Returnal. Oh, Returnal. I've been holding back on making a review for this game, mainly because after playing a solid 15 hours and only beating 2 bosses, I felt like I had enough. I recently decided to play it again and well, yeah, here's what I think. But first, I need a drink. This should do it. Hand Malt Sang Sang Pale Ale. Hand Malt is a microbrewery here in Korea. They make very decent beers, and this is one of them. It has 5.1% alcohol. The can has a bright orange-yellow hue. It has a nice full hoppy taste, with the typical citrusy taste of pale ales, but also has a light sweetness to it. This might be why it's called a Sang Sang Pale Ale. In Korean, Sang Sang refers to a sweet, dreamy feeling. Okay, well now, I think I'm ready to talk about Returnal. Returnal was released worldwide on April 30th, 2021. It was developed by Housemarque, a Finnish developer based in Helsinki. It was released exclusively for the PS5 and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. If you're curious, here's what the Korean physical copy looks like. It comes with a DLC code to get 2 in-game suits. It's rated 15 and over. Somehow, I'd expect this game to be 18 and over actually. Okay, so basically, Returnal is a roguelike third-person bullet hell shooter. What is a roguelike, you say? It's a randomly generated dungeon crawl in which dying is permanent. The game that started it all was the 1980 game Rogue. Returnal uses a lot of what characterizes a roguelike game, although it's not an RPG per se, and some items you pick up are permanent. But not a lot of them. More on that later. The game follows Celine, an Astra scout who lands on the planet Atropos in search of a mysterious white shadow. She soon realizes that she's trapped in a time loop. You then traverse a very alien landscape in order to solve this mystery. An alien landscape filled with all kinds of horrific monsters and machines. The art direction is amazing. Housemarque really achieved what they set out to do here. The game has an unsettling feeling akin to the psychological horror genre. It's also what I would say an excellent example of the sci-fi genre. I can only think of the original Alien movie year in which to draw parallels. Returnal is a gorgeous game and uses a lot of what the PS5 has to offer, like 3D spatial audio, real-time ray tracing effects, minimal load times, and the brilliant use of the DualSense controller. When it rains, you feel the rain in your hands as well as hear it through the DualSense speakers. When you fire your weapon, the same thing happens. You feel it and hear it. There's haptic feedback for all, including the shoulder triggers L2 and R2. Finally, the game runs at a smooth 60 frames per second on all resolutions. So okay, Housemarque made a beautiful sci-fi horror action game here. But what about the gameplay? Well, you'll die a lot, and you'll be going through the same places over and over. It's a difficult game. It's punishing. You're going to need luck and skills to finish this game. You'll need luck because of the procedurally generated aspect of it. No 2 runs will have the same map and weapons. Speaking of weapons, there's a nice selection. They all feel very distinct. You can unlock different powers for each weapon, and those will be permanently unlocked for every run. But quite frankly, they're not that critical to success. I'd much rather keep the weapons level. And you know, that's the thing in this game. As I said previously, during your run, called cycle in game lingo, you clear out the monsters maybe a boss or two, boost your weapons, find items and equipment, to die and lose it all. There is a reconstructor that you can find which will give you a continuous spot of sorts, as well as another item that will resurrect you on the spot, but you have to find those things in your current run and use them in that same run, and hope for the best. The game has a unique mechanic where you gain adrenaline levels as you kill enemies without getting hit. You gain some powers, and your gun recharge gauge, which is similar to Gears of War, is longer, thus faster to recharge. Unfortunately, if you get hit, you lose all these advantages. Ugh. You can find dead clones of yourself, well actually other players, and either get some items by using ether to loot it, or kill the special monster that killed it and gain ether. Ether, by the way, is one of the few things that you can keep when you die. You can buy items and upgrades at various stations called fabricators by using obolite, which is basically the game's main currency that you get by killing enemies or just finding it in the wild. In the many worlds, you'll find teleporters. The map is very descriptive, by the way. Pay attention to the types of doors as well. For example, a door with a broken circle above it leads to a portal that sends you to another biome, another level. If you're trying to get back to the third biome from the first one after dying, you might want to find those doors ASAP. There's a database of all the stuff you find and fight in the game. It's quite interesting to read through the exhaustive description of items, resources, artifacts, and hostiles. It's also where you'll find your weapon trade progression. In the game, you can find parasites that will attach themselves to you and give you buffs as well as penalties. So before attaching them, make sure you read the descriptions and what they do. Some of them will make it quicker for you to restart a cycle. Also, you can't save mid-game. The only way to stop and resume a run is to put your PS5 on rest mode. Now, I've heard many complaints about that, but personally, it's never been a problem for me. Yes, it's essential to know, but it's not a game breaker in any sense. If you're currently playing Returnal, then just don't play another game at the same time. Wait till you die, then quit and play another game. And don't worry, that'll happen often. You'll die a lot. Did I mention that already? The game is super frustrating, even more so than a Dark Souls game. So it made me think, why did I come back to it after a 2-month break? Well, I think it's the atmosphere of the game. Its looks, its sounds, its mysterious story, and its action. Every time I die, I keep saying to myself, alright, I'll do better next time. And then boom, 2 hours pass without any real advancement. But when you do kill a boss and finish a level, you're so happy and feel such a sense of achievement. And that's why I come back to this game, even though it's one of the most frustrating games I've ever played. And I've been playing games since the NES was released. So yeah, that's it folks. Give Returnal a go. I still didn't finish the third world, but I'll keep trying. Oh man, I need another drink. Returnal gets a 9 out of 10. It's a remarkable game that'll get you hooked if you can get past its punishing difficulty. Did you play Returnal? What did you think? Thanks for watching.